Okay, this is from my friend JJ, who was asking me about something on guitar that he could play for his kids. You know, I got the sense maybe kind of putting them to bed, something that's relaxing and maybe not too hard. So I have a couple quick ideas. One of them is just moving a couple of shapes around the neck. You might be familiar already with the E major chord. So third finger here on the third string on the first fret, and then I've got my second and third fingers on the fourth and third strings on the second fret. Makes an E major chord, and you know that shape. You might also be familiar with the idea of bar chords. So bar chords are, well, we could take that shape and we could make our first finger be like the nut and put it down someplace else. So I'll put it here on the third fret, and then we could make that E major shape in front of it. So this would be like playing the E major shape but having moved it up 3 frets, and this actually turns out to be a G major chord. Well, bar chords are a little bit of a pain to play. You have to hold down that bar with your index finger, and that's kind of hard, and frequently you get a lot of notes that don't sound good if you're not used to bar chords. But it turns out you can move the bar chord shape around the neck in the key of E without the bar, and it gets some interesting, kind of cool, relaxing sounds. So here's that E shape, and if I were going to play in the key of E, just kind of pick up the major scale on the bottom string here. The first note of the scale, the second note of the scale is a whole step up, the third note of a scale is a whole step up, half step up, major scale here, and then whole intervals, the fifth, the sixth, the seventh, and then a half step to the eighth, right? White and black keys on the piano, familiar stuff. Well, the major chords in E are on the first note of the scale, the E, on the fourth note of the scale, which is this A, and I could play a bar chord here. But what if I didn't play the bar? So I'm just going to take that index finger off. I have this bar chord on the 5th fret. Leave the E shape in front. In fact, I'm even going to switch my fingers around and play that E shape just like I did down here in the first position. But now I've got it up here. So my index is on fret 6. And my second and third fingers are on fret 7. And now I'll play all 6 strings, just one at a time. So some interesting sounds in there. That B, kind of a interesting note in an A chord. I guess in an A major chord, that B gives it a major 7th. And I'll move back down to the first position. I can do the same thing for the 5th note of the scale. That's the other major chord in the key of E. That'll be up here at the B. And again, I could play a B major chord with a bar. Get my fingers in there. But instead of playing with the bar, I'm going to take the bar off. Let me just rearrange my fingers. So my index here is at the 8th fret. My third and fourth fingers are at the 9th fret. And again, just play all the strings lowest to highest. Some interesting notes in there. But I think it works. If I play just those 3 chords... That sounds pretty good, actually. The repeated open strings that never change give it a light, airy, suspended feeling. I could add just a little bit more if I knew a minor bar chord shape. And the minor bar chord shape, again, you put your index finger down and cover all the strings, and then you play like an E minor shape. So here's the E minor. You just take your index finger off, and back here's the nut. And I could let my index finger pretend to be the nut and put that E minor shape. And I'd probably use different fingers because my index is the nut now. So here's a bar chord, and it's the F minor bar chord. But again, what if in the key of E I didn't play the bar? There's one note in there that sounds kind of weird. It's on the 3rd string, that open G in an F sharp minor chord. That sounds weird, so I'm going to put my first finger on the 2nd fret on the 3rd string, right here. And then I'm not doing anything with my index finger, so I'm just going to stick it up, flip off the camera here. That sounds pretty good. So that's the barless bar chord for the 2nd note of our scale. And you could also do a minor barless bar chord for the 3rd note of our scale. That'd be this G sharp minor. And again, I'll just put my index finger down on the 4th fret. That's not too bad. And especially if we played it in context. Sounds pretty nice. You could finger pick it. And all I'm doing is moving that major shape from the first position up to play the fourth, the 4 major, the A, and the 5 major, the B, or move that E minor shape to play the second chord, the F sharp, or the third chord, the G sharp minor, in a scale. And you can even go all the way up the neck. See if I can get my guitar in here. Let's see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the 6th note in the scale. That's a minor chord too. So that bar chord without the bar would have my index finger here on the 9th fret and my 3rd and 4th finger on the 11th fret. Yeah, that works. So just play around with that. Just work your way up the neck. Easier said than done. That sounds cool. You can improvise on that. Let me just show you a couple of other open chord shapes. The other bar chord that people may know is the 5-string bar chord, the A shape. So if you played an A, you'll put all 3 fingers down here. Or maybe you already play it with a bar. I'm barring those 3, the 4th string, 2nd string, 3rd string here, all the 2nd fret, and I'm playing the open 5th string, which is an A. So that's the A major, and maybe you know it by putting 3 fingers down. Well, you can make that be a bar. Your first finger pretends to be the nut, and let's do that here, barring at the 2nd fret. And then again, I could put 3 fingers, 2 frets out to make that A shape. Or maybe if I've done this enough, it makes sense to put down, I've got a bar over 3 strings, not the very bottom highest string, and I'm collapsing my knuckle. And boy, this is hard if you're not used to it. But there's, in this case, a B major. Well, that's another one of those bar shapes that's kind of hard to play. But what if we did this? What if we put our index finger down only to play the B? And then we took our 3rd and 4th fingers and put them 2 frets over and a string down. So I've got my 3rd finger here on the 4th fret of the 3rd string. Sorry, 4th fret of the 4th string, my D string. And my little finger right underneath it on the 4th fret of the 3rd string, the G string. And so now you've got that B with the open strings on the bottom. So the 2 highest notes on my guitar, they're just not changing. Sounds pretty good. I could play an A that way too. I'll just put my first 2 fingers here and not bother to put the 3rd finger at all. So I'm leaving the B open. It's an A major 7th. Sounds pretty good. And again, just try moving this up the neck. If you moved it up to the 5th fret, it's a D bar chord, without the bar. You can move it up to the 7th fret, and it's an E bar chord. I'll play the low E string. Although usually I'm not playing that low E string because it doesn't fit in the chord. You can play it on the 3rd fret. Now it's a C bar chord. I won't play the low string. Some dissonance in there. You can even play it at the C sharp. So again, just move this around. I mean, does this sound kind of cool? And I'll rest my flip-off finger here, my 2nd finger, up on the top string to mute it, so when I strum, I'm not getting that low E string in there. It's cool. Those open E strings and B strings just ring out over all the chords and make them all sound kind of airy. They've all got some extensions on them. They sound a little jazzy. You might even try finger picking some sort of arrangement over this. Okay, so 2 shapes. The E major or minor shape that you can move around the neck, and then this shape, which is sort of a modified A shape that you can move around the neck. And you can come up with something that sounds cool without too much effort. And it's good practice too. Good for developing the grip strength in your left hand. Good way to practice some of those right hand arpeggios that you might know already.